What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, the whole thing. We have some pretty amazing free stuff. I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time that I've seen stuff like this Christmas bundle, wherever it is. Holiday gift, there it is, right there. We have a Sacred Shard, 3 Ancient Shards, 1 Void Shard, 5,000 Silver, a rank 5 chicken, and a Legendary Tome. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is very similar to this kit right here, in a sense. So I'm gonna say we have about at least that $40 worth of free stuff. I don't know about you guys, but this is awesome. Like, really nice. I'm really glad Plarium has gotten around to doing something like this, right? Also, a quick note on the fusion. I am done with the Pixnial fusion. I have shown this before, but she is relatively easy to complete, or was for myself. I decided to skip literally the entire summon rush because I got myself a second copy of Gerhard, whatever. I still didn't correct his name there, as I was able to get him from the Champion Chase tournament. Because of that, and because I don't necessarily need a second copy on my account, although he's a good champion, decided, you know what, I'm gonna skip all the rest. So I can skip the Ice Golem, I can skip the Summon Rush, I can in fact almost even skip the second Classic Arena Takedown. I'm obviously still gonna do that, but you guys kind of get the point here, is that when you do get an extra copy, it's then easier. So I did get her. I will make a build video on her, but today is not dedicated to her. Today is dedicated, sorry, to my good old Berserker. And I put some pretty amazing gear on him, and I've shown this before, but Berserker can actually be a decent farmer, so I want to show that yet again, but he can also solo something else, and I want to show that, and also I want to take him in the arena for you guys to kind of show what he can do. Again, you guys might think that he's not worth it, but as a spirit type nuker, 13 seconds as well for a farmer for 12-3 is pretty decent. But again, he's not only built as a farmer, he's built as a full-on nuker, which could be used in the arena. And as you will see right here in one of the keeps, right, I was doing a couple of potions here, and I thought, when is my Battle Khazar going to be ready to solo this? And I still don't have a Sepulchre Sentinel, so I thought, you know what, let's try Berserker. Can this guy solo this keep, and maybe I can do food at the same time? It turns out it can. He's maybe not built perfectly to solo, maybe lifesteal would be better, but if I want to have him as a dedicated nuker, let's say for the arena, maybe you're early on in the game and you would want to use him for that, he can actually, with this current gear, which is good, like, it's some of the best pieces on my account, I'm not going to pretend it's not, but still, it's the fact that he can still somewhat handle this. It does take a lot of time. You do come close to dying. I would assume sometimes you are gonna die, but still, it's the fact that he can somewhat pull this off. So if you're looking for a budget farmer for the 12-3, a nuker for the arena early on, and perhaps eventually also somebody that can take on this guy and pretty much almost solo him, right there, you see he got pretty low health in 50 seconds. This is decent, right? We can use this to our advantage. So let's go over his gear real quick, how I built him, and who usually has that gear, because as you can imagine, he's not usually geared like this, right? I do have better champions as nukers for other things in the game, but still kind of interesting to see this, I'm gonna say, God mode Berserker here and what he can do. All right, so we have my first ever in 22 months of playing this game Cruel set, right? Where we have 100% crit rate, 286% crit damage. This is also probably the highest crit damage I've had on one of my champions for a very long time. We have 4.5k attack, 183 speed, could be a little bit better. I'd say aim for 200 if you're going to use him as a farmer, so that you can guarantee you go twice before each champion. We have no resistance and no accuracy, which is kind of good because he does not need this really for what he's doing. And as for the skills, pretty easy to max out. I farmed this guy last year when I was making myself a War Maiden, and so now I had a lot of extra copies and used him as extra books. As for the Masteries, again, this could be optimized. You can kind of see that he's set up as a nuker. Even Life Drinker might make it a little bit more safe for you if you want to use him as a solo champion for the Force Keep, right, as you saw. So this would definitely help. It would sort of prevent you from dying. But for the time being, it kind of works like this for myself. You do, I would say, probably want to get Whirlwind of Death and this right here, Spirit Haste, which obviously helps a lot. So if you're going to put some food when they die, he's going to get a lot more speed. Therefore, which is why I can afford to be under 200 speed. So factor in the extra 24 here and the extra 18 here. Next thing you know, you're well above 200, all right? So kind of went with just, I don't know, basic stuff. I suppose here again, I could probably optimize this, sort of even this right here, where we have some kind of buff, but it comes from the shield, right? So I thought maybe that would speed him up by a little bit. So anyway, there you have it, my somewhat solo God mode champion Berserker, and what he can do in the end game. Still useful. That's the whole point here, is that he's still useful. But now let's go jump into the arena to see what he can do. Obviously, I am going to have to try and find some teams that are kind of like, you know, strong enough for me to handle this. Like this right here is probably not that hard, but you know what? Let's just put the guy in anyway, and then I'll go back to who usually has that gear, which you've probably figured out by now, but still, let's see what he can do. Hoping that we don't kind of kill these guys with my other champion. So here we go. We're going to have the big AoE Provoke from Tormund, AoE True Fear, and he goes for that skill first, and then that one again. So that's the problem with him on auto, is that if there's a certain number, I believe, of spirit champions over, I guess, sort of like force champions over magic champions or whatever, he might not prioritize his A3, which is the AoE, right? But as you can see with the hits that you've got right there, he can hit pretty darn hard anyway. So let's try another team right here, and we're going to put this on 1 speed multiplier, and we're going to see just what kind of damage we can get from him. So auto right here, we get the increased attack, we have decreased defense and provoke, AoE True Fear, sorry, not decreased defense, I meant the provoke and the stun, right? Because I have my Torment in a stun set. Now let's see which skill he's going to choose here. He goes for Havoc again, and then gets a weak hit. That is what I find kind of weird about this guy. But if they were to fix his AI, which they're supposed to work on champions like this, if they fix Berserker's AI for him to always go for his A3 first, I think he's going to be very impressive for early accounts, and as you can see, still useful all the way into the end game. So here we go with the big hit AoE. We got some pretty massive numbers there as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push this even further. Let's see if we have harder teams, which we do. And Force is going to be, Spirit is going to be strong against Force. We do have a tanky, what's her name, a Valkyrie in there. So we're going to do this. Instead, we're going to drop our Tormund. We're going to grab our Lydia. Lydia is going to give us a decreased defense and the weaken, so now we're going to be fully buffed up, and I want to see just how much damage we can deal, hoping of course that we get around to our Berserker first. Here we go, we buff up, we got that. Let's go AoE decreased defense and weaken, yeah, and they buff up. Let's see if we can, okay, they cut in, you know what, that's alright, I'll work with those shields. Let's see what kind of damage we can do. AoE provoke, and buffing up here. All right, so I guess 2 of them are going to die, but let's see that hit right there. 130k and 110k on that Arbiter. Again, these are not very hard teams, so you know what. All right, so let's try another team here, but then I assume because they're probably going to be a little bit faster, we're going to have to bring in, instead of our Harvest Jack, let's bring in our Tormund to hopefully gain crowd control over them so that we can make it to our Berserker in. All right, so we're going to buff up with increased attack, then we're going to go for that AoE provoke, hopefully some stuns, just anything to control them a little bit. We did get it. Let's go for AoE decreased defense and weaken. Yes, okay, thank you. Then they're going to A1 on our Tormund, that's all right, they get a shield. Then I think we're good. That Arbiter is not going to go before our Berserker, but just in case, let's reduce the turn meter from the A1. And now finally, let's see the skill. Remember, this is a 2-hit, right? So we might hopefully kill the Rhodos at the same time, even though we're weak affinity. But let's see what kind of damage we can get from this guy when fully buffed up. And he goes for his A2 again. But we go into an extra turn and we get that big nuke anyway. Man, I was sure he was going to go for his A3. So again, I don't exactly know what controls him doing his A3 first or not. But let's see then if we can try one more. Hopefully that we can go first. Let's see if we can manage to go first against this team right here. Same setup. Again, we got to hope for some crowd control or else they're going to buff up and we're not going to be able to win this fight, I think. So here we go. We buff up like this. She gets frozen. Let's go for AoE provoke. and some stuns. We do get it. AoE decrease defense and weaken. Come on, we didn't get it on this Duchess, so she's totally going to buff up, which is going to make it a little bit harder for us, but let's see anyway. Let us see anyway. Let's reduce her turn meter. We got this. All right. Okay, Trunda going for that big hit on my Tormin. That hurts. Man, she hurts. But she's down from just my Lydia alone. All right, let's finally try this here. Sweep. Okay, we got some decent numbers there as well. So again, maybe not ultra endgame, but guys, if you're looking for a Spirit Nuker, I think he's worth it. I think he's super impressive. I think he's super underrated, to be honest, and he can do a lot of great things. So I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you actually use a Berserker all the way into like gold 4 or platinum? Obviously probably not, but heck, you can do some great things with him. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Before I let you guys go, let me quickly show you the great haul, because I do want you guys to understand this is affecting my stats. And then with this cruel gear, which is usually on my Foley. All right, so my Foley now has this fully committed full cruel set. He's close to 5k attack with this. He has 100% crit rate as well. Unfortunately, he does not have a 6-star crit damage amulet yet. I do have some on my account, but I'm really liking this refresh amulet, so I'm going to be patient and wait for something a little bit better. And so then he's going to be an even more impressive beast with this gear, and I'm going to showcase him as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later.